everybody who is somebody was at the first night of Look Back in Anger. And that, of course, included Mr. Latter's twin granddaughters, Pam and Peg Boyd Gibbons. Their parents brought them for the big event in their young lives to meet the princess. Mr. Howard Thomas, head of ABC Television, was among the eminent people arriving as Pam and Peg were taken to the foyer upstairs. They had to wait for the big night till they'd reached the ripe age of 7, but then life does make big demands on patience. The show business was represented in all aspects. Films, TV, the live theatre, all sent their top people. John Kennedy escorted Carol Leslie, lucky fella. Now came Mr. J.R. Wallace, head of Elstree Studios, followed by Richard Todd and his wife. Michael Redgrave with lovely Vivian Lee. Young stardom represented by Jackie Ray and Janet Scott. Then came the managing director of Associated British, Mr. C.J. Latter. Mr. McGregor Scott. Ah, and who's this? Ah, as if we didn't know. Obviously, it's going to be a very good show. Accompanying Terry was Penny Morell. The chairman of Associated British, Sir Philip Water, with Lady Water and their daughter. Eva Bartok. Undoubtedly, this was a gathering rare even by West End standards. Trevor Howard. Setting the royal seal on the glittering occasion was Princess Margaret. It was an evening that underlined the highly prized association of the motion picture world with the royal family. The manager of the Empire greeted the princess and escorted her into that magnificent theatre, the scene of so many great film occasions. The head of MGM, Mr. Charles Goldsmith, and his wife were presented. Mr. Goldsmith, in turn, presented Mr. Latter. The big moment for little Pam and Peg was getting excitingly near. Mr. and Mrs. McGregor Scott were royally honoured. It was now the turn of Mr. J.R. Wallace and that distinguished lady of stage and screen, Dame Edith Evans. The director of Look Back in Anger, Tony Richardson. Often overlooked by the public, but certainly not by anyone in motion pictures, is that important man, the producer. In this case, Mr. Harry Saltzman, here with his wife. And now it really was the big moment for little Pam and Peg, something they'll remember all their lives. At 7 years of age, the twins were old enough to realize how important it all was. But how well they rose to the occasion. After that, it had to be a jolly good film, not to be an anticlimax.